Hi everyone, my name is Andreina Rojas and I'm going to be talking about user story number 2357, which is the favorites feature. The product owner and mentor for the BreazeHome 4.0 application is Dr. Masoud Sadjadi. So first I'm going to talk about the different steps I took in completing this user story. So if you go to Mingle, I created basically a user story where I talked about the acceptance criteria and a small description. Then here in the sprint board, I talked about the different things I needed to do. So they're all done because I finished the user story, but basically I had to create a use case diagram, object design, system design. I had to learn about the technology. I had to do a requirement analysis and then create both the front-end service and the API endpoint. So here is my use case diagram where I talk about how the user can go into the results page, then click on a property, and then using the favorite or unfavorited star, and then here on the favorites page you can see the favorite properties. Then in the class diagram you see the results controllers that has the properties and the favorite star icon, and then this lets you add the property to a list. Then here you get to save the property using the property ID and user ID, and then in the BreazeHome API you can post the property. Then here in the results favorite controller you get your favorited properties, and you do so by getting the properties by filter, which then calls the property service, which is get all favorites, and then that calls the HTTP favorite properties get all favorite properties with the user ID. And then you can also unfavorite in the results favorite controller, which calls again the unfavorited function in property services, which then deletes it from the BreazeHome API. So the sequence diagram is a home buyer goes into the displays a page of the results page. Then you click any property here. So I clicked Southwest 12th Avenue, and then here you get to favorite a property, and then that takes you to the property service page JS file, and then that opens up the HTTP fave property post in the real estate BreazeHome API. Then the user gets a favorite added to favorites token back from this service. Then the other thing that you could do is go and display the page for the result favorites. So then here you get all your favorites by getting all the favorite properties from the BreazeHome API. And then you can also unfavorite, and then this deletes the property from the BreazeHome API, and then you get an unfavorited token back to the favorites page so that the user knows what he or she did. So then now I'm going to do a small demo detailing this this feature. So here is the BreazeHome website. The user is logged in, and I am logged in as andrerojas@gmail.com, and you can select however many properties you want. So I'm going to select these 3, and you get the added to saved properties token there. Then you click on this star icon on the header, and you get your favorited properties. Now you can also unfavorite the properties. So this says removed from favorites. So if you reload, you will see that you only have 2 properties. And if you go back to the results page, you will only see those favorited properties having the star. So a look at the back end is this. So here you have the property ID, the user ID, and then, so this is the ID for the actual object in the table. Then you have the user ID, and then you have the property ID. So if I were to log out and then log in using another account, let me make sure that it's logged in. Yeah, so it's logged in. So it's logged in as ar@gmail.com. Now we should see that this user doesn't have any favorited properties. So here. So now if you go into this page, you shouldn't see anything either. So back to the actual landing page here of the results, I'm going to favorite one property so we can see what that looks like. Okay, so then in the database you see that user 4 added this property. And then if we go here, we see that property. Now, to look at the code, so here we are at, let me actually pull up the different, okay, so we have results.html, we also have results favorite.html, and we have the respective controllers. So let me pull that up. Okay, so we start at results.html when the user clicks on the star, which is found here, line 267, card save graphic icon, and basically it takes you to this function, which is add property to list. And then in the results.js file, we can go here into add property to list, and then here it calls properties.save prop, so the actual property, and then that is this file here, the service, which is save, and that calls the method post for fave properties, and the data is the user ID and the property ID, which is what we pass. We pass property, so we're taking the property.id. So the backend looks like this. So this is it. So we have a fave property, which is the model, the user, which is a foreign key, and then it has the on delete thing, and so does property. And we have this that it says unique together, so the same user can't favorite this the same property twice. Okay, and then the views. Here in fave property view set. So far we have seen is save, which is just a post method. So the way that the results page knows whether a property has been saved is with this function it calls as saved. Okay, so and then basically it returns that to the results page. So then here we will go to the results fave.html. So basically here you have the same star, and if you click on it, it takes you to so to get all the favorited properties, it calls properties.getAllFave, which is let me see, in properties.js, get all fave here. So it calls fave properties, and then it does a get with the user, which we see here, properties, and this is where it returns it. Then you can also unfavorite in the results fave HTML, which is the same function. So it's like add property to list. So then we're gonna go here, results fave.js, and look for that function. Yeah, so then it calls properties.unfavorite, which is here. So it's fave properties/unfavorite with the user ID and the property ID. So then we'll go here to views, and here we can see that it unfavorites it by deleting the object. So that's basically it for this feature. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me or our professor Sadjadi. Here is our contact information. Hope this video has helped you, and like I said, let me know if you have any questions.